You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about Draymond Green because, look, he is running his mouth like mad in the NBA, the small forward / power forward for the Golden State Warriors. And he has run his mouth to the point that he has decided to call himself the NBA's best defensive player ever. This is lunacy, and it seems Shannon Sharpe took him to task. These days, I don't agree with a lot that Shannon Sharpe's got to say because on Undisputed, unfortunately, he talks way too much politics for my liking. But there was a time when I was a big Shannon Sharpe fan. He's by far one of the greatest tight ends to ever play in the NFL. If you look at his stats, they're unbelievable for a tight end. One of the greatest trash talkers, had one of the best Hall of Fame speeches I've ever heard, and always had a small soft spot for Shannon Sharpe because I remember him back in the early days when I was bodybuilding and powerlifting back in the 90s, peddling a little-known product back then to bodybuilders called creatine monohydrate through a brand called EAS owned by Bill Phillips. And look, me and Shannon, we were taking creatine. We thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread. For a bodybuilder, creatine was great until better things came along, like Norandro. Thank you, Mark McGuire. Draymond Green should be thrown in jail for saying he's the best NBA defender, says Shannon Sharpe. And this article is by way of TalkBasket.net. Draymond Green recently made a bold claim by saying he's one of the best defenders to ever play in the NFL. Former NBA star Chris Webber, one of my favorite players ever, called Golden State Warriors forward, quote, crazy for making such comments as he went on to name other players that he considers better defenders. And don't you worry, Rhodes is going to hook you up with the players that he feels is better defenders. And really, the list is not even complete. It's just players that we absolutely know were better defenders without even having to think about it than Draymond Green. Sports analyst Shannon Sharpe is of a similar opinion. Quote, he should go to jail. He should be thrown in jail. He said on Undisputed, they should put a case on his ass for saying this out loud. Draymond Green is not even a top 20 player of all time. He's crazy. He's crazy. Sharpe then proceeded to list names that he feels are better than Green. Included Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Dikembe Mutombo, Tim Duncan, Ben Wallace, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Kawhi Leonard. And let me play you that clip right now of what Shannon said. Bam.
Yeah, and he should be thrown in jail. They should put a case. They should have put a case on his butt for saying that out loud.
Okay, so in case you're wondering, Shannon's absolutely right on this one. He's absolutely right. Draymond is 31 years old. He's got 3 NBA titles. But I got to looking at my list that I put together here, and I was like, you know what? I believe Draymond would literally be, and I've only got 13 players on it, but there's at least 9 to 10 that all the way around were not only better defenders, but just bigger superstars and better overall players than Draymond. So I don't know how much I would be running my mouth. So let me give you the list of players I've got, and this is in no particular order, so I'm not ranking them one. I've got 13 jotted down here. Mind you, Draymond decides he's the greatest defender of all time. This is the ones I've got. And I've just got a little snippet out next to it about how many times these guys were on the all-defensive team. We'll start at 13 and go down to who I've got at 1. Bruce Bowen, 8 times all-defensive team, 3 NBA titles. Michael Cooper, 8 times, 5 NBA championships. Dennis Johnson, Boston Celtics. I'm a huge Celtics fan. People forget how great a defender Dennis Johnson was. 9 times all defensive. Number 10, Chris Paul, 9 times all defensive and damn sure a better all-around player. Let's go with one that is active right now and that, in fact, made a comment about the fact that essentially Draymond is full of S. Tony Allen, 6 times all defensive, and Kobe Bryant once described him as the greatest defender he ever played against. That's pretty big praise. Number 8, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, 9 times all defensive. Number 7, Dennis Rodman, 8 times all defensive. Scottie Pippen, 10 times all defensive. Kevin Garnett, 12 times all defensive. The glove, on you like a glove, one of the greatest point guards ever. Gary Payton, the great Seattle Supersonic, 9 times all defensive team, one of the greatest point guards ever. A better all-around player by far. Many of these guys are. Kevin Garnett, Scottie Pippen, Hakeem the Dream, Chris Paul. They're all better all-around players than Draymond. Number 3, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, MJ. For all of MJ's offensive accolades, he's a 9-time all-defensive team member. Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. Kobe Bryant, 12 times all-defensive NBA team. And number 1, Tim Duncan of the Spurs made the all-defensive team 15 times. And look, there's other guys. Kawhi Leonard would be another one you could talk about. And the list could go on and on. But look, Dikembe Mutombo would be another one that you could talk about. I agree with Shannon Sharpe. I think Draymond Green should probably spend a couple of days riding the bench. Set him on the bench behind those bars for a awful take from Draymond Green. Draymond Green, stick to doing Subway commercials. We know you got steak on your Subway. That's great. You make a better sandwich than you do at calling yourself one of the greatest NBA defenders of all time. Actually, you said you were the best of all time. Lunatic. Okay, yeah. Tell us what you think, Black and White sports fans. Another current-day NBA player. And look, these other guys were better defenders back when other players in the league actually still defended in the league. Defense is taking a massive hit in the NBA, and it, along with its politics, is why we've seen the downfall of the league. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.